Good evening, y'all. This is your man Roadblock once again at the Metasphere Lounge. Now, before I begin, I'd be remiss if I didn't give a heartfelt shout out to a fellow YouTuber, Hardcore Tito, and a fellow Northwest YouTuber, Straight Shooter, and GW3X, Mad Bus Driver X, and anybody else that I forgot. You know who you are, for inspiring me to do this video. And now, the subject of this video is called the Powermasters, the Headmasters, and the Targetmasters. Let me start first with the Powermasters. The Powermasters are basically motherfuckers that, control everything and fuck shit up in the process. And, tell the other group of motherfuckers to fight amongst each other. Like, for instance, these liberal white motherfuckers out there, you know who you are. That they control the media, the money. Unfortunately, you know how everything goes, because shit is real fucked up because of these assholes. Like, they'll sell lies left and right, and like it's the truth. Like, they'll stab you in the back and say, well, that wasn't me, that was a mosquito. Yeah, I doubt a mosquito has a sword for a nose. But that's just, the gist of the kind of shit that they do. And, let's see here. Now we move on to the Headmasters. Basically, these nasty-ass women out there, be they black or white, but I'm going to primarily talk about the black women because they're guilty of this shit. The same ones that go into these motherfuckers' heads and get them to do goofy shit that they would never do for some used up pussy, basically. Like, for instance, I never admitted this to anybody, or I may have in my very first video a while back, and it was because this was my last vestige of simping, by the way. I helped this woman move, hoping that, maybe I'll fuck her. Needless to say, that didn't happen, and I'll tell you this, I will never fucking do that again. I've learned my lesson. But moving right along, these bitches will go around and play victim and, go around and use shaming tactics and deflection to get shit not do them. Like, for instance, motherfucking bitches that know that they shouldn't be doing some shit, and then they get called on it, and then you know how these hoes are, like, well, your mama black. What the fuck does my mother have to do with you? That kind of shit right there. What does she have to do with you? You just a nasty ass bitch. Shit. And then, the goons, we're gonna call them the Targetmasters. The same type of niggas that are, pandering to these nasty ass used up whores for some dilapidated pussy. And those will be the same type of niggas that'll fight you or use you as a deflection as deflection or shaming tactic, much like their female counterparts, because they ain't had daddy in the house and that kind of thing. And then they'll definitely want to pick a fight with you, especially if you don't agree with them, which is bullshit. I mean, we're not all like-minded. Motherfucker, I don't have to agree with you. And then, these are the type of motherfuckers, along with their headmasters, that sit around all day, subliminally, thanks to the Powermasters that I mentioned earlier. They sit there stewing, mad at us black folks. I'm just gonna be honest, for the most part, us black men. So I can't think about anybody else because they ain't thinking about my black ass. Brothers first. I'll just make that very clear. Brothers first. Brothers out there like me and the ones I mentioned, and and the rest of the SYSBN family, y'all know who you are. Sorry, I forgot to mention y'all, but there's too many of y'all to mention, so I'm trying to get out of this as much as possible. Pardon me for stammering, but I'm kind of fucking tired right now, so I'm trying to do this before I go to bed, y'all. Them type of niggas and them type of bitches, because it's mostly them that sit around stewing all day, getting mad at us because we don't have our heads up our asses. Now keep in mind that these are the same motherfuckers that were the cool kids. They weren't the lames. Well, actually, shit. Now, they're the fool adults, and they are the lames. You can't get any lamer than being a grown-ass man sitting up at some bitch's house, eating all the kids' snack packs and playing fucking video games all day. I can't understand it. You can't get any lamer than that. Or even lamer than the video that I mentioned about this nigga calling himself dropping knowledge. He thought it was so profound, when in actuality he was very profane. Well, not profane to the point that it was a cussing match, but he just didn't make any fucking sense. I'm like, shit, nigga, just give it up, man. You've lost. You can't win with me. I'm dropping logic on your ass, and you just sawing logs, not doing shit. And then, you know, same type of motherfuckers that want to go around and say, oh man, I'm trying to get my life in order. I'm doing shit. Next week, the following week, you see that motherfucker just down in a beer can and throwing it away, like on some Homer Simpson shit. You put the beer in the Coke and then throw the can away, and they have some motherfuckers say, I say Homer! That kind of shit. And then, you know, both of these groups, as I said before, they're all conditioned, be it through food, TV, merchandise, through their Powermaster white motherfucker, masters. As I said before, like my last video, these are the same type of motherfuckers that want to call for unity, but are the very same ones disturbing the peace. Ain't that something? And we all know who's behind that shit. I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about you white motherfuckers too. You liberal white motherfuckers that created these motherfuckers that come and fuck with somebody like me. You're just as guilty. Because to you, they figure, you figure, well, they're not gonna bother me. Well, guess what? Some of you are gonna be fucked with. I have been fucked with. You're just getting a taste of your own medicine. And quite frankly, I feel nothing for you. I hope it gets worse. Now, one thing that concerns me through all this, you know, the liberals, they control this and that, but they just could not keep Trump out of the office. Ain't that something? So that kind of further lets me know they're not completely in control. And I'll probably get some flack for this, but you know, I don't give a fuck. I keep it real. I'm not exactly a fan of Trump, but again, as I mentioned before, when he makes those cuts and whatever else he makes in regards to these motherfuckers not freeloading anymore, I'm all for it. But me personally, I think it's time for me to make a move, because that probably won't bode well for me or any other black man who has any sense to realize that, you know, you motherfuckers shouldn't be getting shit anyway. You didn't work for it, because everything I own, you know, the video I'm dropping right now, the equipment for it, and the music in the background, for instance, I had to work for that. And then, you know, I got to get some shit taken care of with my car. I got to work for that too. But it just boggles my mind that these motherfuckers that have been getting free shit for no reason are suddenly mad all of a sudden because somebody wants to put a stop to it. And I don't blame them. You motherfuckers are lazy as shit. And again, what I think about you is less than zero. And then it just, all three of these groups are the black man's main enemy. And we black men have become the action masters. Or those of us that are, you know, doing what we do via social media. We're taking action. We're talking about it. We're doing stuff. Whereas, you know, these motherfuckers talking about, we're going to make stuff happen. We're actually sitting here making things happen. Oh, and one thing I forgot to mention. Shout out to my man Dwight Hayes for going global with SYSBM. I salute you, brother. Now, I long for the day when I get and can really etch my way into SYSBM. I'm working on it, y'all. But, you know, like I said, this heavy machine gunner's got a lot on his mind. And it's kind of taking its toll on me because, you know, I think maybe I need to relax. What say you? Well, I'll probably hear your, I'll hear your post or read your post in the video, should you make any. And, you know, many thanks to my subscribers for, you know, tuning in, because I'm doing my best. I mean, I don't have the best equipment here, but you know, I'm doing whatever I can to, you know, spread my message across because I too am sick of this shit. These motherfuckers are lazy, recalcitrant, just impossible. I mean, they're just like in their own little world. Like, especially them fucking liberals that created all this shit. They just have their hopes and dreams that everything gonna be alright and fall into place if you do nothing. No, it doesn't work that way. For everything to fall into place, you have to do something about it. Again, you know, I want something, I gotta make it happen. I gotta do something about it. I'm not just gonna sit here on my hopes and dreams because that's complete and utter bullshit. And that hopes and dreams crap is seeped into the black community and is just, you know, it is a complete ruination of the black community. There is no hope for the black community anymore. Then there really was a black community because let's face it, black women since the time of slavery or possibly before then have become nothing more than race traders to black men like you, me, or anybody else that doesn't have our heads up our asses. And I'm through with them. I'm through with them. I'm through with these simps. And I'm through with these damn liberals. Because they all have one thing in common. They seek to destroy black men. And they can kiss my motherfucking black ass. All right, y'all. Good night.